Can't. I'm trying to film.
Where do Alicia and them go? We're right there.
And here come the Western Hills Cougars. We will redo the coin toss here in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, now if you would, please direct your attention to the center of the field for the captain's coin toss. The captains for Western Hills are number 1, Raekwon Neal, number 16, A.J. Daniels, and number 64, Aiden Slade. The Bearcat captains for tonight's game are led by honorary captain number 19, Storm Aguilar. Tonight we will honor one of our own. Storm played football for the Bearcats and graduated in 2009. Tonight we are honoring Storm not only as a Bearcat, but as our very own American hero. Joining Storm tonight in the stands are his family and friends. Please join me in welcoming and thanking them for being here tonight. Please direct your attention to the video board. Storm grew up in the Aledo area, loved the outdoors, and is one of our local Cowboys. And like any good Bearcat, he began playing football at an early age. Storm continued to play football as he grew up and finally was one of our linebackers his senior year on the 2008-2009 team. After graduation, Storm attended Texas Tech University and then joined the Texas National Guard and the U.S. Army in May of 2009. He volunteered for deployment and was sent to Afghanistan in early October 2012, where he was assigned to the 56th Security Force Assistance and Advisory Team at Camp Nathan Smith in Kandahar City. Their task was to advise and assist local government officials and police. Many of their missions were embedded with local forces in a wide variety of tasks. In the days leading up to December 13, 2012, Storm's unit was escorting visiting VIPs in the Kandahar area that included Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta. On December 13th, they had successfully returned the VIPs inside the base at Kandahar Airfield and were on their way back to their own base across town. Storm was the gunner in the top turret of a MATV, or a mine-resistant, ambush-protected all-terrain vehicle like the one you see on the video board. Storm's unit passed a car on the side of the road, and it turned out to be a vehicle-borne IED loaded with a 500-pound bomb, which exploded just as they passed. The explosion struck the driver's side of Storm's vehicle, ejecting Storm from the wreckage. He was thrown approximately 75 meters and landed under a car. The video board is showing the actual vehicle Storm was in. Storm was severely injured with a shattered left leg above the ankle, perforated left eardrum, temporary blindness in his left eye, and shrapnel all down his left side. Storm was eventually picked up by an Afghan ambulance, but unfortunately his bad day didn't end there. There was no morphine available, and the ambulance was heading back to the Kandahar Airfield Military Base Hospital. As they approached the main gates, they were unaware that word had spread of a second vehicle-borne IED disguised as an Afghan ambulance. The guards at the base opened fire on Storm's ambulance, and the drivers were fortunate to escape, with Storm bouncing around in the back with no pain medication. Cooler heads eventually prevailed, and Storm was delivered to the hospital on Kandahar Airfield. Storm spent 2 days there and was eventually flown to Germany and then on to Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, where he remains today in the Warrior Transition Unit. Storm was honored with receiving his Combat Infantry Badge and Purple Heart medals directly from Governor Rick Perry, which is one of the highest honors for a Texas Guardsman. The day Storm was injured, there were 2 other soldiers in the MATV with Storm, Sergeant Clint Rutherford and Specialist Nelson Trent. Sergeant Rutherford survived and was transported to Germany along with Storm and is still recovering. The driver was Specialist Nelson Trent, who you see on the video board now. Nelson Trent was killed in action that day and is now buried in Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. Storm has asked that this time of recognition be dedicated to his good friend Nelson, whom you see on the video board. Please join me in a moment of silence as we dedicate this time to the brave American hero who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom that day. There is a plaque on the wall at the Center for the Intrepid where Storm is rehabilitated. It has a sentiment written by a U.S. Marine who was killed in Fallujah, Iraq in December of 2005. It says, "I know what honor is. It has been an honor to protect and serve all of you. I face death with the secure knowledge that you would not have to. Never falter. Don't hesitate to honor and support those of us who had the honor of protecting that which is worth protecting. And now, please direct your attention to the center of the field where we have a few items to present to Storm. As you'll recall, Storm attended Texas Tech and is a huge Red Raider fan. Texas Tech alumni Coach Billy Mathis is presenting Storm with a gift courtesy of Texas Tech University and Storm's former teammate, Greg Lowe, who is now a member of the Texas Tech football program. The gift is a Tech game ball signed by Texas Tech head coach Cliff Kingsbury. The inscription reads, "Storm, thanks so much for your service. Guns up." Next, you may recall on September 13th in a game against Monterey Tech, we flew a special flag right here in Bearcat Stadium in honor of Storm Aguilar. Now presenting that flag to Storm is athletic director and head football coach Tim Buchanan. Along with the flag is a certificate of authenticity. It says this flag is presented to Storm Aguilar. This flag was proudly flown in your honor at Bearcat Stadium on September 13, 2013, during the Bearcats' victory over the Prepa Tech Borregos from Monterrey, Mexico. The Bearcats proudly represented the United States during this international game, just as you have done in your selfless service to our country and the people of these United States. It is with great pride in it that we honor you with this flag. Let all who look upon this flag see it as a symbol of freedom, a standard of justice, and a token of our immense admiration and thanks for your service, your sacrifice, and for making us so proud of you as a Bearcat and an American hero. It's signed by Coach Buchanan. Tonight we are honoring not only Storm Aguilar and Nelson Trent, but all veterans. America's veterans have answered the call when asked to protect our nation from some of the most brutal and ruthless tyrants, terrorists, and militaries the world has ever known. They stood tall in the face of grave danger and enabled our nation to become the greatest force for freedom in human history. Members of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard have answered a high calling to serve and have helped secure America at every turn. Our country is forever indebted to our veterans for their quiet courage and exemplary service. We also remember and honor those who laid down their lives in freedom's defense. These brave men and women made the ultimate sacrifice for our benefit. Tonight, Storm Aguilar represents all veterans as we remember these heroes for their valor, their loyalty, their dedication, and their service. So Specialist Storm Aguilar, you are our hero and a Bearcat forever. We love you and are so proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Storm and all veterans for making it possible for us to live in freedom and enjoy things like Friday Night Football.